Alright, so this is how you find your best-selling niche. All you have to do, and this is a very easy way, very simple. This is the way that you're going to do it every time you find your best-selling niche idea or you go into research any category that you want to get into. What you'll do is you'll come up here to the hamburger, you'll come down to Kindle e-readers and books, click on Kindle books. At the very top of the screen, you'll see bestsellers and more. Let's go ahead and click on that. Let's go ahead and scroll down the page. And under category bestsellers, we'll click on Kindle bestsellers. So as soon as we navigate over here, we'll then be brought to the top 100 of these categories. This is exactly where we want to be. Your research begins in the top 100 because, as you know, our criteria for this right here is always having the book. So the first book must be 2,500 or below. The 100th book must be 25,000 or higher. Ideally, 25,000 to 50,000 is a sweet spot. I'm going to just make that a little bigger. Okay? So the very first book should be 2,500 or below, and the 100th book must be 25,000 or higher. Okay, so that's this right here. This is the first book, and then we'll show you that in just a minute. So we have Kindle ebooks, Kindle singles, Kindle nonfiction singles, and Kindle short reads. These are the only ones that we're going to be focused on. So we're just going to click on Kindle short reads, for example. As soon as you do that, you'll be brought over here to a bunch of different categories or a variety of minutes and pages. 15 minutes is 1 to 11 pages, 30 minutes is 12 to 21, 45 minutes is 22 to 32, 1 hour 33 to 43, 90 minutes 44 to 64, and 2 hours or more 65 to 100. As you can see, you have a bunch of different choices, and yes, these people are cashing out on just 1 to 11 pages. We're going to click on the 30-minute category just for an example. So as soon as we're brought over here, we have a bunch of different categories that we can choose from that fall under the 30-minute category. We have arts and photography, biographies and memoirs, cookbooks, food and wine, health, fitness and dieting, humor and entertainment, and so many more. We're just going to click on health, fitness and dieting, for example. Actually, we'll just click on romance, for example. Alright, so let's get off of romance. It's always so naughty over here, but it's really, really profitable. So we're just going to click on something a little bit more cleaner, though. Parenting and relationships. Awesome. So 30-minute parenting and relationship short reads. Now that we're over here in this category, we'll click on the very first book to see if it meets our criteria of 2,500 or below. So we can see that this does not meet our criteria. We can see that this is actually ranked at 14,000. So it's a bit too high for what we want to go for. This book is just a bestseller. You know, it looks good, but it may not be making all that much it may not be making a lot of money. I can guarantee you just from looking at this that the 100th book is probably really, really high in ranking. So we're just going to click on over to the 100th book just to see if that checks out. So we'll click on the 100th book. And we can see that it is very, very high. So it's 589,000. I can tell you right now that this category is not profitable and most of these authors are not making money over here. So with that said, what we'll do is we'll click on something else. Let's click on health, fitness, and dieting. Let's click on this very first book. Protecting yourself from the Wuhan coronavirus. We can see that this book does meet our criteria. So it's 2,500 or below. So it is 1,692. 1,692. This is the only number that you want to focus on. These numbers right here only represent the position inside of this category. So as you can see over here, these are the different positions. So as you can see, this book is number 1 in 30-minute health, fitness, and dieting short reads. Okay, makes sense? Awesome. So now what we'll want to do is go over to the 100th book. The reason that we're traveling over to the 100th book is to determine whether or not this whole category is profitable. So basically, by going from the first book to the 100th book is giving us a snapshot of this whole category. Okay, so we can see the 100th book is Ear Candles, a Quick Guide. So we will come on down, and we can see that it is a little too high for our criteria. Okay, so this is way too high for us to be publishing into. I can tell you that it's probably just the first book that's making money in this category. But in order to see if that checks out, we will have to go over to the first page and then click through these first five books and see what these ranks are. So the Baby Sleep is the second book in the category. We can see it's 49,000. That's a significant jump from the very first book to the second book, okay? So in this case, this would be one of those categories where only the very first book is making money in this category. Now, you could put your book over in this category and easily take over this #1 spot and make some money as the #1 book over here, but you would have to take over this guy's position. So in other words, you would have to at least be 1,692 or below and outbeat this guy here, okay? So let's see if we can find one that is actually going to meet our criteria so you can see what a profitable category looks like. So we are over in 30-minute cookbook, food, and wine short reads. This very first book here. Nope, that is a horrible category as well. So you can see here, this is actually a really good example. These are indicators. You need to be looking at these numbers as indicators, okay? So we said that the first book has to be 2,500 or below. So this saves you time. It is 131,013. You can run away from this category, okay? So let's click on business and money and see what that's doing. If this one isn't good, I'm just going to click over to something different and see if we can find something profitable. So this one is not good either. All right, so let's go back to Kindle Short Reads. And let's go to like 1 hour. And then let's try health, fitness, and dieting and see what that's about. So now we're in 1 hour health, fitness, and dieting short reads. And this category is not good either. So sometimes you're going to have to do research just like this. So this is really good that we're going through this because you're going to be going through these motions every single time you look to publish a book in a different category, or you are just looking at different ideas in this category to see what's hot and what's not and to get ideas for your book. All right, so we will click on romance. Let's see what's happening over here. So Kate Hunt, I already have a feeling and I already know that romance is going to be popping. So automatically we can see that this is 2,500 or below, so it's 2,100 actually. So what we need to do now is go over here to the 100th book. Okay. And what we will do is click on the 100th and see if it meets our criteria. So it actually does. We can see that it is in that sweet spot range. So 25,000 or higher, 25,000 to 50,000. So this would be one of those categories that you would want to publish into, okay? So this is 1 hour short reads. Now let me point something else out. Not only are you able to publish into the 1 hour short reads, but you can see that this book is published into other categories as well. You can click into these just to get an idea. You can see that it's not ranked all that well in those categories, but it's ranked pretty well over here. So you can see what books are over here, see what how this category is doing, and see if this is another option that you can publish into. The same thing over here with this book as well. You can click over into these categories and see how it is ranked over there and see if it is something that you want to publish into as well, just to get ideas. But that's basically how you would find your best-selling niche idea and how you would do your research. The same thing applies to not just short reads, but also we can click back here to Kindle Store and click on the Kindle ebooks. These would be some of the longer books. So we'll click on health, fitness, and dieting, and we can just see this as an example. So we'll click into this. What did I just click on? I don't even know what I clicked on. Health, fitness, and dieting. So let me just click back because I shouldn't have did that. I clicked on health, fitness, and dieting. That's the main category, but I want to niche down even further. So let's go into diets and weight loss. And then from diets and weight loss, I want to niche down even further into food counters. Okay. So I'm going to go and click on the first book. So weight loss food counters. Let's see how this is doing. Okay, so it doesn't meet our criteria, so that's not something that we would want. But you can see that this book is a little bit longer, 673 pages. You don't have to publish books that long. This is just that category. So I'm just going to click over to diets and see what's going on over here. So as you can see, you can find so many different categories. Like, this is the power of research. This is why you should be researching, and this is how you're going to find the majority of your niches. By taking the time and doing this, you will save yourself so much more time, so much more time by doing this, instead of just throwing the book up on Amazon and thinking that it's going to work. So you can see we went from diets and weight loss to diets and found all these different categories. So let's click into low fat. Let's niche it down even further. So under diets, we're in low fat diets. So if we wanted to go to like low carb diets, we could click that, low carb diets, and it would bring up low carb books. But let's go back to low fat diets. Let's click on this very first book. And let's just go through it. Does it meet our criteria? No, it does not. So we're going to quickly eliminate that. We'll go to low carb. We'll click on this ketogenic diet. Let's see if it meets it. Yes, it does. So it's 2,500 or below in our low carb diet category, okay? And it's also very well ranked in these other categories, allergies and ketogenic diets. So you could very well become a bestseller over here in these categories as well at this rank by pushing your book pretty hard. Not even that hard. You don't even have to push it that hard. So let me go back here. I'm going to go to this. Okay. And I'm going to click on the 100th book. And let's see if it checks out. Come on, baby. No, so it doesn't check out. It's a little higher, but this isn't like all that bad, okay? Let's just check out. In order to determine whether this is something that we would want to publish into, we'll click on the first 5 books once again of this category. So let's go back to the low carb diets. All right, and let's just see if it's the first book making money. So we just open all 5 of these. And we're checking to see if it's only the first book that's ranked well. Okay, so that's not bad. This is the second book in the category, so 3,900. Third book up. Okay, 4,000. All right, 6,000. Yeah, 14,000. So yeah, you could publish a book in here. Once again, it's 25,000 or higher. Ideally, the sweet spot is 25,000 to 50,000. But if it's a little higher, that's absolutely fine. And to determine whether that's absolutely fine, you would have to click on these first 5 books in the category to see if it's only the first book that's sucking all of the profit out of this low carb diet category or whatever category that you pick. I hope that this video made sense. Make sure that you go over this video and watch this many times so that you can understand exactly how we're doing this and why we're niching this down, why we are focused on these small categories here, and how we're finding whether or not these categories are profitable or not with the criteria that we laid out, with the first book being 2,500 or below and the 100th book being 25,000 or higher, and how we navigated over here, okay? So I'll do it one more time just to reiterate it, but we'll come over here to the hamburger. We'll click on Kindle eBooks, click on Kindle Books, go over to bestsellers and more, go over here to category bestsellers, okay? And then we'll be over here with our different categories. So Kindle eBooks, Kindle short reads, Kindle nonfiction singles, Kindle singles, and so on. All right, guys, hope you all enjoyed this video. Hope you got a lot of value out of it, and we'll see you in the next one.